It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from 18th Street Brewery, and it's a can of their Rise of the Angels. It's a double India Pale Ale with grapefruit zest added in a 1 pint, I think that's 568 fluid ounces. And it's coming in at 7.7% ABV. Really like the can wrap. I was very privileged to try their beer fresh at last year's, that was 2019's Brewskival Festival in Sweden. Great stuff. Nice bit of smoke on the can opening. Beer in the glass then. Nearly filled the glass. 1 finger white head, good levels of carbonation, exactly what you would expect really from an American double IPA, which this is, of course. The Americans like to get their double IPAs lovely and golden coloured. Amber coloured beer. A little bit of haze in there. Let's get the aroma. Really punchy and zesty and citrusy, especially with that grapefruit zest, as I mentioned, added to the beer. A little bit of sweetness from the malt as well coming through. It smells very good. It smells very good. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. Loads of grapefruit. The first thing I get from this beer is a ton of grapefruit coming through. A little bit of that lovely kind of biscuit malt flavour coming through. The Americans, as I mentioned, they like to add a little bit of, it must be a red malt to the beer to get that kind of lovely amber colour to it. When they add that malt, it helps to offset the bitterness on the beer, that sweetness that you get from that typical caramel, maybe. It offsets that bitterness on the back end, which of course you get that as well on the beer. It's lovely. Carbonation pushes the beer on the inside of the mouth, releases more of that flavour. Very tropical, citrusy, yeah, grapefruity, fleshy blood orange. It's like biting on orange peel or cutting a grapefruit in half and smashing a grapefruit in your face, and you get that kind of, well, you put a little bit of sugar on the grapefruit first, as my grandfather used to do, and then smash the grapefruit in your face, and wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. You imagine doing that in real life. Blimey. It's quite an easy drinking double IPA as well. It's not kind of, it's not too thick, too gloopy, too malty. It's not too malty for a double IPA. It's still holding a level of kind of refreshingness to the beer. Good lacing on the glass. I like it. I like it. The only thing I will say, and I mention this in quite a lot of the American craft beers that we get on the channel. I purchased this in a shop, and if, like, I get sent Australian beer, I got a great sender in Australia called Mick. If you're watching, Mick, hi. Mick will pick up the beer as soon as it hits the shelf, pack it up in a tube and send it over from Australia to the UK. Gets to us within a week. We're reviewing the beer within a week and a half. And it's super fresh beer. Some of the beers I've had from Australia, I've had comments on the YouTube video saying I can't find it. You're drinking this beer before I can even get it, and I live in Australia. I mean, so what I'm saying is that it's not a problem getting beer from the other side of the world, but it's the distribution. This beer might have been made in March, April time. It's currently the very last day of May 2020. Got to be shipped over then, normally by boat. Takes a while. Then it makes its way to the supermarket, the bottle shop shelf, and then you might have it for a week or two, and the beer, it just loses its edge a little bit. That wonderful hoppy edge that the beer once had has just come down a notch, and that's the biggest reason why I want to go and visit America and Australia and New Zealand, is to get to these tap rooms, get to these bars and drink these beers absolutely stonking fresh. Who wouldn't? Still a very good beer. Still an extremely good beer. Loads of hop flavour coming through. As I mentioned, a zestiness, fleshy blood orange, grapefruit. That grapefruit zest, of course, that's not going to lose its kind of potency at all. And then you got the malt. That kind of biscuity malt flavour. And that's what is the biggest deriving factor to drinking double IPAs in the UK or super fresh from Mick in Australia. I did have a super fresh Pliny the Younger sent to me back in February, and it was only like a week old, and that was just amazing. That was an American beer, Russian River Pliny the Younger. That was stupendous. That was incredible beer, and I just wish I had the means to get super fresh American craft beer more often. Anyway, 18th Street Brewery, what do they say about this beer? Probably not much. The Americans, they either have a massive description down the side of their cans, or they don't write anything at all. Just the standard Surgeon General stuff down the side. So, Rise of the Angels, double IPA, 7.7% ABV from 18th Street Brewery. I still like it enough to give it an 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. I reckon if I drank it fresh at the brewery, it probably would have had a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom! Cheers.